Streed, you must listen to me, Captain. You must listen.
Listen to this.
As I'm getting older, chip upon my shoulder, roll through life, you roll over and die.
Hey guys, it's Streed, and today I'm going to be reviewing the third entry in Romero's Dead series, Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead was directed by George A. Romero, starred Laurie Cardille, Richard Liberty, and Joe Pilato. This was the very first Romero's Dead series that I ever watched, and it's also my favorite. The film is about a group of scientists and military personnel trying to live with one another in a bunker through mutual benefit. The soldiers protect the scientists and round up the dead for the scientists to experiment on, attempting to either find a cure or a way of domesticating the dead. This causes tension between the soldiers and the scientists, with especially Captain Rhodes, the group's new leader, getting ever so unstable each day the scientists study. When this film was released, it was utterly hated by critics. Originally, the film was meant to be a 3-hour-long epic, with Romero calling it the Gone with the Wind of zombie films. Unfortunately, the production company cut the budget, so Romero had to scale back his original vision. You'd think because of the budget cut this would drastically drag the film down, but luckily this serves, at least to me, the best of the entire Dead series, and knowing this is the abridged version yet still managed to be this phenomenal just speaks to Romero's directing prowess. I absolutely love this one. This is a golden memory from my childhood. Once again, reviewing a childhood film. My dad actually introduced me to this film because he knew that I loved Shaun of the Dead, because I watched Shaun of the Dead first. That was like one of my first zombie movies. It's still my favorite movie of all time, but as for zombie movies, this is my absolute favorite. No contenders. I haven't seen Train to Busan yet, but this is definitely the pinnacle of Romero's entire Dead series. I just love it. Now let's get on to the strengths. The atmosphere. Oh my god, I love the atmosphere. I am a whore for atmosphere. I love that in movies. There's such a feeling of desolation and isolation and bleakness, and just mankind is at this stop. It's at this shrivel to where man is acting like an animal and everyone's fighting and things are getting out of hand, and there's fucking zombies everywhere. And the people are getting to be such assholes and such fucking neurotic freaks that it's hard to tell from the people from the creatures, So I love the atmosphere. This is the bleakest of the Dead trilogy. Well, not trilogy, the series. I keep saying trilogy. But yeah, the Dead series. This is the bleakest. Dawn of the Dead had its bleak moments, but it had an uplifting ending. I mean, this one does too, but throughout the movie, it's very bleak, And the music. Now, I love the music now. The first few times I watched it, I thought it was a little cheesy, honestly. I thought it was a little too 80s. Now, I love 80s shit, don't get me wrong, but when I was young, I was like, it lacks drama in the music. Like, the drama itself in the movie is fantastic. It's on point, but the music lacks drama. It's a little too cheesy, and it sounds corny. But as I've gotten older, I've learned that it's fucking groovy, and I don't know why, I don't know how, but it fits. I don't know how I couldn't see that when I first watched it, but it fits. And I also love the meaning behind the film. This is the main motif in the movie, that the lack of communication creates division and chaos, leading to the detriment of everyone. And yeah, there's a lot of miscommunication in this movie, which leads the scientists to fight with the soldiers, and they both have interesting points of view, you know what I mean? And I loved the awesome bloody ending. Now, I'm gonna be frank. Dawn of the Dead, its effects were great. The effects were cheesy, I'll say. They weren't great, but they were cheesy, and I enjoy them, and I still enjoy them. But this movie really ups the ante when it comes to effects. The effects here are so improved, and the zombies look really fucking gnarly, and all the deaths are so intense. like how Torres dies. Those zombies, they literally rip his fucking head off. They rip his throat out, and his vocal cords start squealing. And it's fucking insane. And then Rickles, holy fucking shit, Rickles, they straight up tag him down. They grab him and they fucking rip his eye out. And he's like laughing, but he's also screaming. Like when I was a kid, I was like, what the fuck? Why is he laughing? It's like laughs mixed with screams. Like it's like a tick for this guy, you know? It's just there's so much awesome gore in this movie. Like the scene where I think Sarah's having a dream and Miguel, who's the fucking worst character. Miguel, he's like he gets up, you know, and his guts spill out, and that's a callback to an earlier scene where a zombie tried to escape and its guts spilled out, and Sarah, she was like, oh, and fucking Dr. Frankenstein, Logan, he fucking kills it, you know. But I've gone long enough about that. And spends more time on the characters. Now, some people may find this disappointing. If you're looking for a movie that's non-stop zombies, non-stop action, this is not the right movie for you, because the majority of the movie focuses on the characters' conflicts and their conflicting ideas and how they relate to each other and like arguments, you know. That's what most of the film is about. In any case, in usual cases, this would be very boring, but the characters are so fleshed out and so interesting and have such a distinct personality that it's so compelling to watch. That's why I believe this is more of a drama than a straight-up zombie film. Because, yes, it is a zombie film in essence, but I think this one is more of a drama, like a drama on humanity's follies, you know, and how the human mind works, you know what I mean? And oh yeah, the awesome characters. I gotta mention the characters. Sarah, one of the best written females I've ever seen in cinema, besides Ridley, the lady from The Blob, and a few others. But she's so well written. If anything, the fucking Miguel acts more like a stereotypical woman, I guess you'd say, because he's always flailing about, he's always bitching, he's always being a complete and total prick. He was the worst character in this movie, but I'll explain why he is the worst, but why he's also, I can kind of tolerate. He's not as annoying as most characters nowadays are, you know what I mean? But anyway, Sarah, back to Sarah. She's so brave. Honestly, she has a brain. She thinks, you know. She doesn't bitch or complain or anything. She doesn't go hysterical. You know, I'm not trying to say it to be sexist, but some movies write women that way. But she is written so well. Honestly, gender is not even a thing with her. Like, she's just badass without even having to be. She is like the greatest character in this movie, and there is a lot of great characters. Now, the two sort of, they're sort of villains, Steele and Rickles, they steal the show every scene they're in. They're not in it that much. Well, they are, but, like, their scenes are sparse. Like, it's not, you don't get too much of them, which is good, because it's good to balance out the real drama and the comedic relief, and they're more comedic relief. But even they have some depth. Steele a little bit more than Rickles, but every scene they're in, they're always fucking making fun of Miguel, or they're making some nasty snide remarks, or some asshole comments. But you can tell they're not, like, evil. Like when Rhodes orders Steele to shoot Sarah for not sitting down and complying, Steele has this look on his face like, I don't want to fucking kill her, man. I mean, come on, I'm not like that. But then fucking Rhodes threatens to shoot him, and Steele is like looking at her like, come on, man, sit down. I don't want to have to do this. So you could tell he's not really evil. He's just a bit of a dick. And Rickles, I think they both have like this delightful hyena laugh. I love them. They're great. And Steele's death actually offers a little nuance to his character. It gives him a bit of a mini redemption. You see, when he gets bit in the neck by one of the zombies during the raid, and an awesome fact about that scene is when fucking Miguel, when he pushes the button and opens the gates for the zombies to kill everyone like a selfish dick. Yeah. there's an alarm that can be heard, and that's the exact same alarm from The Thing. And when I first watched, because I first watched The Thing first, and then when I watched this, I was like, "Whoa, that's the alarm from The Thing!" Like that was really awesome. So, anyways, Steel gets bit in the neck, and the zombies are all crowding him. He's got no way out, so he does a Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and he blows his brains out, which sort of offers like a little redemption for him. Because yeah, he was a dick, he was a jerk, but he wasn't an inhuman monster. He wasn't Mr. Complete Asshole. He was obviously religious. The only thing that was really bad with him was his personality and how he behaved. He wasn't really malicious, but I guess maybe because he hung around with Rhodes, who was killing people. But I'd say he's not really that evil, just like a little. And a awesome thing, Greg Nicotero does effects for The Walking Dead. He plays like a little side character. I think his name is Johnson. And to the greatest character of all, motherfucking Rhodes. Holy shit, Joe Pilato, you magnificent son of a bitch. This fucking villain is awesome. Now, some people complain that he's a little over the top, but I think that benefits his character. Because, think of this. If you're in a situation like this, and you already had some pre-apocalypse mental issues, which I think he might have had, you would fucking jump at the chance to become leader. And like, this guy was basically just a tyrant, but there's a lot of complexity to him, because his argument of forgetting the research and just hauling ass makes a lot of sense. So in essence, Rhodes was right in his ideas, but in his means he was wrong. And the way he conveyed it was wrong, because every scene he was in, well, most of every scene, he always yelled, like in this scene, for instance.
I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time!
Which is a fucking funny-ass line. But yeah, he yells a lot in the film, which probably muddled the message. I think if he would have been a little calmer, a little less of an obnoxious fucking dickhead tyrant, I think they would have listened to him, and they just would have fled, and everything would have been alright. And that's basically, that correlates with the message of the whole film, how lack of communication leads to division and chaos, and it decimates everything and everyone. This film it's a masterpiece. I can't really think of anything I disliked from the film other than Miguel. He was a bit of a bitch. He was a bit of a pussy. But honestly, you can understand why, because when the apocalypse and shit comes up, it has a severe psychological effect on people who might be weaker spirited or weaker mind. I think Miguel represents that. And he plays the part fine. He's not too annoying, but he's my least favorite character out of this whole film. But anyways, yeah, this film is a motherfucking masterpiece. I definitely recommend you watch it. I'd give it a total 10 out of 10. Well, guys, that was my review of Day of the Dead, and I'll see you all next time.